those who will say, why don't you go to court and seek a civil means of the damages you think that might have been inflicted on you and some of your siblings?
I've been in court for the past 10 years. On another but similar issue, the Ayobo property, 400 hectares, something that my father himself had gotten a Form M and a Form O from a judge, but he never executed that judgment. I got that judgment revalidated. I went to the land. I found that there were 2,000 properties on the land. What did my brother do? Take me to court for fighting for what belongs to all of us collectively. So you see, and what you find in Nigeria, is this somebody that has $50 million plus that I want to be following to court? I've been in court for the past 10 years. I know how much I've spent with the lawyers.
Fighting your own brother.
Fighting for what's supposed to be our collective.
Why is it that you're the only one fighting?
I'm not the only one. I'm saying but I mean that we, because like Lekon.
Is Jamiu involved? Is Kafila?
Kafila is involved. Moriam. Matter of fact, let's leave the Kuriba side of the family alone. Everybody down the line. Walia from the third wife. Almost everybody is frustrated. I have my siblings in America. I'm sure you know my siblings in America looking for money for investment. This is where we will get the money from. So everybody is frustrated. Everybody's just like, look, enough is enough.
Are there no elders in the family, in the village, in the extended family that you know, there are uncles, there are aunties that could probably weigh in on this matter, or you have exhausted all of those possible means and it's not working?
First of all, I would say that some of the family members, most of our everyone's in the family have passed away over time. But notwithstanding, you have to also understand the dynamics of the Abiola family at the time. My father was the head, so Kola basically took over that position. So who pays the piper dictates the tune. So I guess that most of them, based on incorporated mangba, like the small things that the crumbs would rather just collect. Nigerian people can be, but for me, like I said, it might not necessarily be the issue of the money itself. It is my father's legacy we're talking about here.
Afsat is very influential in the society, and one will wonder, she is the second of the Kudirat children. Lekon, I know, is a bit reserved and dryly, and a bit, not as like yourself. But the question is that, and there are other MK Abiola's wives that are also very educated, very influential in the society. I'm wondering, how is this battle so difficult?
Well, it's only difficult because of the peculiarities of the society we find ourselves. This shouldn't be an issue. Matter of fact, I shouldn't be talking about a will that was done maybe in the 1980s and maybe it was actually official after Popsi had died. So we're talking 24 years or 26 years of this matter. We shouldn't be talking, if it was a sane, law-abiding society, this shouldn't be happening. Matter of fact, the day after Popsi had died, this thing should have been sorted. So we're only having this conversation because of the society we find ourselves. But like I said, just because the society is flawed doesn't mean I should allow injustice to reign. This is injustice. It is wrong. The IG should investigate. I've even written to the DSS. Everybody should investigate these people for this, because it's blatant. How can you change a CAC document? How? How did you become a director? I want to know. Who gave you that authority? I'm not a director, and I wouldn't even go around saying I am, because I'm not. But the bottom line is, I am an heir of this thing. I'm a beneficiary. I am Abiola, true and true. And the bottom line is, what my father said in his will, that's the only thing I can use. The last will and testimony, this is what he had in mind for me as is one of his child. He even said it now. Don't give them the money now. Wait till he's 21. Now, I'm about to be 40. So if we're waiting to 21, then I've passed 21, so I need what my father had apportioned to me, so I can take care of my family.
So the question here is, these are not just company of the kiosk. These are legitimately registered companies listed by the Corporate Affairs Commission. Yeah. These are recognized and doing business not only with government but also with other private sector entities. Yeah. You in fact written to a letter to Ali Button and to the CEO not to do business with your father's oil company, Summit Oil. Do you think that this effort in any way wouldn't, on one hand, jeopardize business of the Summit Oil, or perhaps also smear things down the road?
In the contrary, I think what I've done is protect the integrity of the company. Because if the management are doing things that are illegal and borderline fraudulent, people shouldn't participate in that illegality. So I think I am protecting the interests of the public, because maybe they don't know. They might not know that that what they're doing is wrong. Because look, like I said, I wrote that letter to Ali Bosi. What did Ali Bosi do? They moved all the equipment out of the place. They understand the magnitude and the implications of what these people are doing if they don't understand it themselves. Because I for one, would not tolerate it. I don't think the Nigerian people should be subjected to this kind of treatment. So yes, the people, they should be investigated. What I want to be done is I want things to be done properly, so that way everybody stands to benefit. The country benefits, the community benefits, the dependents, those who are beneficiaries of this estate benefits as well. Let everybody, even Kola should benefit too.
But some years back, I'm not sure you're aware that there were stories about federal government seizing the oil block and the prospecting license from Summit Oil, which made the news that that Summit Oil was run by Kola Abiola, the eldest child of MKO Abiola, and the fact that he's lost the oil prospecting license of OPL 206 at that time. Were you aware?
I was aware of this, and I thought that at that time, I was also under the impression that that place was not producing. It wasn't a viable asset. So, the idea is that, look, let's say if you had a land and you're not using the land, and you're not paying your royalties, what will happen is that the government has the right to take over the asset from you if you're not doing your part of the agreement, right? So I understood that. But what you need to understand is that there's no reason for us to be an OPL anymore. We have realized that the thing is a producing asset. That block is a producing asset. I'm sure you have the pictures of the refinery that was built by the engineer Aki Tayo. So the idea here is we want to move on. Like I said, we are all looking for.
So because the operating license of OPL 206, which was owned by Summit Oil, expired around 2014, 2015. I'm asking directly, has it been reactivated?
Okay, so from what I do know is that there was an argument between the operator and my brother, and it's been off. There's not been any production for about 3 years. So let's just say that it must have been, if you're saying 2017, we lost the license, it must have been issued to us. And then maybe in 2021, we stopped production because of the argument between my brother. And my brother is accusing him of $5 million. That's DuPont. He's accusing DuPont that they're owing Summit of $5 million. Yet he hasn't accounted for the $50 million plus that he had collected from DuPont before. He also, the $30 million that he collected from Sonterra, he never accounted for that. So it's kind of rich when you have an agreement with somebody where it's like a willing buyer, willing seller agreement with somebody. You know that it's a continuous thing. So if production, and the third party, the DuPont people are saying that, look, let production start and we'll pay you your money, which is only smart. It's a long-term agreement.
So you don't know whether Summit Oil OPL 206 is still active? Are you worried about the activity there or about the integrity of that OPL?
I am worried. I'm very worried about it, and that's one of the reasons why I'm crying out and I'm speaking out now about once I found out the situation at hand. I think it's best that we come clean. He who goes seeking for justice must come with clean hands. We go clean and say, okay, well, yes, the management made mistakes in these places. How can we make amends? Not that we double down on the errors that were made in the past. I think that is my own drive. So our own idea really is, my sisters and my siblings, about 40 of us, are unified in this thought that, look, what we are trying to do now is have a situation where everybody's on the table going forward. That way we're informed. And when you're informed, you can now make logical decisions. But without knowledge, you can't really do much. So now that we are aware of these infractions and some of these frankly criminal activity, we have written to the necessary authorities, we've written to DPR to get clarification, CAC to get at the time my dad died, what the document said, because you find that none of us were ever directed.
They dug the very first for the first time in 1992, and as records show that the company has over 50 staff, and they've been drilling, and they acquired a 2D seismic in 1991 and drilled the first exploration well in the first quarter of 1992. and which discovered the OTN field and OPL 205, arguably the first oil discovery ever by a private indigenous company in the Federal Republic of Nigeria. That is a record showing on the Summit Oil website in itself. Yeah. So you are not only looking at the integrity or the existence of that company, you are also looking at how much of money that has gone into that company and how much of transparency and accountability that you want. That is what you want.
That is what we want. That's
if
what we all want.
If you get the discovery of it, what are you looking for? To share the money?
No. First of all, because this money, God knows there won't be. If it is made to be true that what I'm alleging is true, then it is very simple. Going forward, that money will be netted off over time. We have to be made whole. The rest of the beneficiaries must be made whole. You can't do a legal thing and get away with your illegality. It can't work that way.